Hey everyone, today we're going to be unboxing the new Sony NWZ-A15 Walkman. So this is just a music player, a dedicated music device. If you remember, I did review the Sony NWZ-ZX1 on my channel, and to be honest, I wasn't a big fan of that player, and I'm not a big fan of the whole Sony high-res audio marketing push, but I am interested to see how this little player compares to some of the other standalone units on the market. So things like the FiiO X1, the Ibasso DX50. I'm going to see if I can borrow those or source those just to do a little comparison. So this unit is priced in Australia at a recommended retail price of 249 Australian dollars for the 16 gig unit, though this player does take micro SD cards, I believe up to the size of 128 gigabytes. Anyway, I actually bought this in retail. I have a friend who works at a retailer, so he was able to get me staff rates for this particular unit, which is kind of cool. Let's take a careful look at the box. Now, there's nothing much on the box itself, except though one item of interest. I notice here it says on this packaging, this set is only for tourists and is not designed for use in Japan. Please do not use this set in Japan. I have no idea what's going on there. I imagine this is meant to be the Japanese retail unit, which is also being sold in Australia. A bit unusual in that respect. Other than that, apparently the unit itself is made in Malaysia and the USB cable is made in China, and then has some other details. Anyway, let's get this box open. So if you remember, I wasn't a huge fan of the ZX1 because it tended to hiss with certain headphones and audio, headphones and earphones. Because of the Class D amplifier technology, and that technology is basically the same amplifier technology as found in this A15. So I'm honestly not expecting it to be a great deal different, but the difference between this and the ZX1 is that this unit is, almost a third of the price. So anyway, let's open the box. We flip it open, and there is the unit itself. There we go. So it is actually a little taller than I expected. We'll take a closer look at that in a second, but let's see if there's anything else interesting in the box. There's some... Nope. I don't even know what that was actually, but we have the instruction manual. So you see here, there's the A15 and the A17. The A17 is the 64 gigabyte version of this unit. We have the USB cable. Oh, I know what this means. This is the WM port cable. This means that this uses a proprietary connector as opposed to a micro USB port. Yes, okay, that is the sound of disappointment actually, because it is now 2014, and at the very least, this player, even if it still has to use this WM port cable for whatever reason, it should at least have a micro USB connector so you can charge it on the go from anything instead of having to carry around the cable. It's so annoying. Anyway, the quick start guide, more instructions in various languages, etc., etc. Okay, so let's take a careful look at the player. And rather than have this unboxing take a very long time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play around with this player. I'll post some first impressions, and then I'll make another quick video with the interface of the player once I actually start playing around with it. But for now, we'll actually check out the physical aspects of the player. This is quite a nice looking unit. I got the black color. As you can see, obviously. We have the kind of diamond interface method here. Oh, there we go. It's actually turned on in the box. On hold to activate control, slide the hold switch on the right side. This is actually my third Sony Walkman, like just a dedicated Sony Walkman, not counting a mini disc player, but I had a A-series Walkman, MP3 Walkman, and then I had a S-series, And then I got an iPhone, and since then I've just used that as my music player. But it's nice to have something like this again. Nice to actually have physical controls for music, which can be quite interesting. So some things to point out on this player. We actually have software buttons here, home and power off. So I imagine those are either touch sensitive buttons or they refer to whatever's happening on the interface. But then we have hardware buttons here, back and option. So that's kind of curious. I'm going to see what's going on there. We have the actual thing, the high-res audio sticker. On the back, we see that there's the icon for NFC, or the information about the Walkman itself. We have the micro SD card slot here. So that's kind of cool. You can expand this with a lot more music. Then we have the hold switch. Well, let's take a peek into the interface. Now you will see actually, you'll have noticed that there are no included earphones in the box, which tells you something about the target market for this player, just like with the ZX1. And this particular interface is actually very familiar to me. The only icons that seem to be new to me are the new Bluetooth option and the SD card settings. But this is the kind of cheerful, actually pretty intuitive interface. I'm quite used to this from the other previous Sony Walkmans. So we have the included sample songs. Curiously, so we see here the lyrics actually pop up on the screen from this song. I've heard this song a few times actually, just because it's been on a number of products I've gotten from Sony. So, okay, so this home button, so it's not a touch sensitive button. Doesn't do anything unless I hold it. No. Oh, there we wait. No, I just made the screen go to sleep. Okay, I have no idea what that. Oh, that must mean that there's an alternative function for this button. So if I hold down back, it goes to home. See, this is what I meant about not faffing around with the interface for a while. So yeah, I will play around with this a bit more and then post another video just exploring the interface. So far, though, the player is actually quite decent. It's got a nice little screen. Got a fair amount of options. Of course, the real proof in the pudding is the actual sound quality. So I will also be posting videos, of course, of my subjective impressions of the sound quality, volume matched against my iPhone 5S, and then I will try and arrange to have some of the other competition on the market. In a kind of maybe a single blind or a double blind test put against this player. So that should be exciting. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about these players, because I have watched a Verge video where they basically laughed at the concept of this player existing even in 2014. And I really wonder if this is really a specific kind of audiophile or head-fi kind of product where there are only certain kinds of users who want a dedicated music device. So I'm kind of curious. Leave a comment if you do use a dedicated music device and you know, some of the advantages of doing it that way, or why you might want to do that. As you know, I personally prefer to use just one device to do everything. But I am quite curious in that regard. Anyway, you can talk to me on Facebook at facebook.com/LachlanLikesAthing or on Twitter at LachLikesAthing. Happy listening.